In today's session of Divorce Court, Shanna Watkins says her marriage to Jeff left her emotionally scarred.
He made me feel as if I had extremely low self-esteem. I felt horrible and I felt ugly.
I've always told her she was beautiful and that she was wonderful and that she had a great body.
He flirted with a lot of other females, like right in front of me.
I love everyone. Flirting is nothing but harmless banter.
She says he spent their money foolishly,
He would spend it on going to strip clubs and going to adult bookstores.
leaving them without a roof over their heads.
We rented a little bit of space in a park and put a 2-room tent up there.
You moved your family with 2 children to a camping tent?
I had nowhere else to go.
Now Shanna Watkins wants justice as she squares off with Jeff Watkins in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Shanna Watkins and Jeff Watkins. Mr. and Mrs. Watkins, I'm advised that after 4 short years of marriage and 2 lovely children, the 2 of you have decided to call it quits. Why do you want to end this marriage so soon?
Well, I realized that I wasn't in love with him anymore, and I knew he didn't love me. And he made me feel as if I had extremely low self-esteem, and I had very low self-worth. And
How did you do that?
He flirted with a lot of other females, like right in front of me.
In front of your face?
Right in front of me.
Is that right, Mr. Watkins?
If I flirted with someone, that is out of being nice and that is me being a good person. I love everyone. I try to have.
That's him hating on people and flirting in front of me. There's no way it can be nice.
Do you know the difference between flirting flirting with someone as opposed to being nice?
Polite.
You're going to put those in the same bag?
Definitely. I think that
Oh,
flirting
come
has
on.
no, as long as I didn't do
Exactly, that's
anything
what
out of
I'm
the flirting,
saying.
then it doesn't turn into anything.
So as long as you say to another woman, you're beautiful, I love you, I like your legs, I like whatever, it's no harm as long as you don't touch her and have sex. Is that what you're
If
saying?
I say a woman's beautiful, then that's because a woman's beautiful. That doesn't mean that that's a negative thing whatsoever. I can tell a guy
He's
he's
obsessed
beautiful.
with females anyway.
I mean,
So you're saying it's harmless to flirt?
yeah. I mean, if I have someone,
It's not
you know,
harmless to me.
If I have a lot of friends that are gay, a lot of gay male friends, I flirt with them just as well. Not because I'm sexually attracted to them,
I didn't
but
know about
because
that.
there's nothing wrong with that. Flirting is nothing but harmless banter.
Flirting is harmless banter
Exactly.
that
To him, it
ends up
was,
in
but to me, it
divorce and
wasn't.
affects 2 children.
That's not the reason we got into the divorce.
That's part of the reason
That's
for me.
part of your
That's
reason,
part of the
is it
reason I
not,
left
Ms.
him.
Watkins?
Yes, it is part of the reason.
So is it so harmless to you?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I felt horrible and I felt ugly, and you know, it wasn't fair to me.
And I never once. This is one thing that I will.
Did she tell you how she was feeling when you
She
were
did,
flirting
and
with
I've
her
never
friend?
told her she was
times
ugly.
we
I've
fought
always
about
told
it.
her she was beautiful and that she was wonderful and that she had a great body and she had a beautiful face. And I always tried my best, to
yeah,
make
after
her
I started
feel.
crying, he'd say
But
that.
let me ask you this. In terms of the best friend or any of these other persons, did it get beyond flirting to what you would call
Yes.
something harmful?
He would leave me at home and go out to clubs with the children by myself.
Go out to clubs? What
Yeah,
type
he would
of
go out to
clubs?
clubs, strip bars,
Strip clubs?
Yeah.
And what is he doing at the strip clubs?
Oh,
Flirt?
tipping-
No, not flirting.
yeah.
Harmless flirting.
Harmless,
right?
just talking to them. But he would go to strip clubs. He would spend money that we did not have.
That's not
tipping
true.
girls,
Actually,
helping
most of the
people
time
get
they
into
spend
the
money.
Mr.
clubs.
Watkins, I can't let her finish, please.
Helping people, I mean, he would pay for people and money we didn't have. We both had jobs, and I had a full-time job, and we could barely make rent because of the fact that he would spend it on going to strip clubs and going to adult bookstores and things like that.
How often did you go to these strip clubs?
I had maybe gone when we were married. I'd say a total of 15 times.
It's
the
strip
reason
clubs
I
and
did
regular
that, and
clubs
this is
he
the
went to,
honest
though.
truth.
Give
is
me another
because
reason.
The reason that
Somebody
I did
else's
is
fault,
if
I
I
know.
were to go to a regular club, there's a chance that, with a whole bunch of guys walking around, that you could always leave with a person. When you go to a club like that, there's no chance I'm going to leave with anyone.
So you went to the strip club
Oh, he
and
was being
spent the
safe,
money
that's it.
in the best interest of your family.
I never
'Cause you
spent
knew then
any money
you-
that we didn't have.
He
I never
spent
money
quite a
that we
bit of
didn't
money,
have.
Excuse me, you
$50 and
didn't spend money
I
$100.
never
that
spent
you
money that we
have?
didn't have.
So you didn't have a problem with money, so money was overflowing.
Not when I went to the clubs. No, when she was working full time before
Money
she
was
quit her
not
job, which is
overflowing.
what
We
got
were
us
broke
kicked
all
out
the
of our
time.
apartment.
And how much money did you spend a night on those strip clubs?
No more. It was free for me to get in, so I'd
I have a
spend
list
no more than $5 or $10.
Stop. Let me ask you this. I understand that I heard you say that you lost your apartment and somebody wasn't paying the rent.
Right.
The money was overflowing and money wasn't a problem. Did you say that you lost an apartment?
Yes, we lost our apartment because
How did that happen if
quit
money was overflowing?
Exactly.
She said, Jeff, I hate my job. I cannot stand it here anymore. I
It was
hate
too
it. I feel so
stressful
bad.
to deal with you and the job at the
And
same time.
I said, Shanna, I understand. I know you're unhappy. You can quit as long as you get you another job. This was a month before we got kicked out, so you've got to have another job because we have to make the rent. We have to make the utility bill.
Okay, but now...
And she said, okay. So she went out and the next day got her another job working through a temp agency and worked 2 days, and then they didn't need her anymore. And then after that, she never went back. And that's why we got kicked out.
It's
not because
never went
I was
back in
going
a
to
month
strip
before
clubs.
we got kicked
Not because we
out.
didn't have any money.
No.
Then I wasn't doing anything. Then we were struggling to survive. And I had no idea what to do. We couldn't move in with her family. My mom and them had just sold a 3-bedroom house and were fixing to move. Only thing I could think of is with the little bit of money I had, I was waiting for her to get a job. We rented a little bit of space in a park and put a 2-room tent up there. And we were going to live in that.
Took me 2 days and I left.
You moved your family with 2 children to a camping tent?
I had nowhere else to go.
How long were you in the tent?
1 week. 7 days. She left after the second day.
What happened, Miss? Did you leave after the second day?
I left after I couldn't handle it anymore.
And where were the kids?
The children were with him,
So
but
she wouldn't watch it. Her parents
Miss
would not
Watkins,
let them come over.
You weren't working?
I wasn't working when I moved back in with my mother, but they were at my house all the time. He had to take them to work once because I think I was...
They were at your house all the time, beating your children?
Extremely sick the one time.
Do you see how you refer to your children as though they're an object? And inanimate and strangers, they were at my house all the time?
No, my babies were at my house all the time. And I mean, I love my children very, very much.
Really?
Very much.
I wonder if your children know it, because I'm not feeling that.
Oh, yeah, they know it. They love their mama. I mean...
Children love anybody.
Well,
that's the beauty of children.
I mean, I adore them. I adore every single thing about them. Their toes and their fingers and everything. And I mean, they know mommy loves them.
Let's give these children some names so I can feel some identity with them. What's their names?
Devin and Taylor.
Devin and Taylor. And how old are they?
4 and 2.5.
And where are they now?
They're at a babysitter.
They're at a babysitter.
So they're in Mr. Watkins' custody?
Right now they are.
And that's been for the last year or 2?
8 months. 8 months.
For the last 8 months.
And I want to change that very soon.
Joe, she's crying. Could you please give her a tissue?
Please. Here's the thing that happened. I understand.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I love my children very much.
And I agree that she does. I really think that she does.
I'm not suggesting that you don't agree that she does.
Right.
My only concern is, do the children know it?
When divorce court returns, Jeff testifies about Shanna ignoring her own children.
The last time she saw the kids was a week and a half ago. Before that,
Exactly,
the last
that's what
time
I
she had
just
seen
said.
them was 3 weeks. Before that, they had not spent the night at their mother's house until a month ago.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Shanna Watkins, who says her husband Jeff's foolish spending caused them to lose their home and live in a tent.
The last time she saw the kids was a week and a half ago. Before that,
Exactly,
the last
that's
time
what I
she had
just
seen
said.
them was 3 weeks. Before that, they had not spent the night at their mother's house until a month and a half ago when I moved.
It's very difficult for me to get down there. I have everybody I know.
She says she has no money to get a car.
full-time.
Stop. Everybody you know
full-time.
works full-time.
Works full-time. I can't find a way down there, so I have to get him to bring them up to me. It's at his convenience when he brings them up to
When
me.
I'm not
I
working.
asked
How
him
old are
to.
the children now?
Huh?
4 and 2.
The children are 4 and 2.5.
4 and 2.5.
And how old are you now?
I'm 21.
And you haven't figured out a way to get to your children?
No, I can figure out. I mean, every once in a while I come by a way to do it, but it's with where I live, it's exceedingly difficult.
February, we got our income taxes in. I filed income tax. I split the money. We got over $3,000. I split the money in half with her. With my half, I got a vehicle, a nice vehicle, and I got us a place to stay. Her money is gone. She did not get a car. She's still living in her money.
What did you do with your money?
I spent it on my children.
Doing
and
what?
myself, making and storage. I paid
Excuse me, what did you do with it?
My children, myself.
What did you do for the children?
The children, oh man, they've got huge toys.
So you bought them a bunch of toys?
Toys and clothes, things of that nature, saving for, haircuts
buy them that all
and
the
stuff
time.
like that.
And now you can't go see them regularly, but
Now
you
I
got a
can-
house full of toys
Yeah,
for
exactly.
them
That's
they can't
my
get up to your
mistake.
house to play with
That's
because
my
you can't go
mistake.
see them regular. You didn't think to
Exactly.
get a car?
I thought to get a car, but
Now you're making a lot of excuses. And again, the 4-year-old and the 2.5-year-old
Are suffering.
don't understand your excuses. All they know is mommy is not there.
exactly. That's
And
what
all
I
the
think
toys
about.
in the world that you buy them is not going to replace the absence of mommy.
I know.
You need to understand that very clearly.
I understand
Okay?
that.
So the toy box won't do any good when they're down there
Oh,
and
no.
you're in another spot.
No, I'm working towards that now. I mean, I want to have them as much as possible. You know, a split custody, obviously, but
So
as
with
much,
all of these disputes over money and the kids, what are you here for today? What are you fighting over now?
Here's the deal. When
Property.
we separated, well, actually, before we moved into the tent, her family put everything that we owned into a storage
graciously enough, my father paid
Okay.
for
Wait a
it
minute.
for us.
When did you get all of this stuff for them to put it into a storage? All
was
I
given
heard
from-
is
his
problems.
money.
It was given from my family. My family
And
gave
we
us a whole
bought
bunch of
a
new
lot of
furniture.
it.
When they sold their old house, every bit of the furniture they had, they gave us. Everything from
But
beds.
when did this occur? Where were you living when you got all this furniture
the
from your
in the
parents?
apartment. In the apartment.
Wasn't that the first year?
No.
When?
No.
This is right before we lost our apartment. A month and a half before, my mother had given us a whole bunch of
Okay, the
living
same
room,
apartment you
dining
got evicted from.
Yes.
Yep.
You had an apartment full of furniture
Right.
that had been given to you by your mother.
Right.
That's before you moved to the tent.
Right.
And before you moved to the motel.
and before I got my own place.
So you got
right.
an apartment full of furniture. You got to move to a tent. What'd you do with the furniture?
My father paid for it to go into storage for us.
So you
And-
put it in storage.
Yes, my father.
Okay, but
and
let me
he-
understand
and with the
this.
agreement that he would
Hold
pay
on
us
a second.
back.
You don't have a place to live. You're getting evicted. You're moving to a tent. You got a house full of furniture. You put it in storage as opposed to
Selling it.
you're only $430 you need to pay that month's rent.
We
You
couldn't
put
sell
it in
the
storage
furniture.
instead of selling the furniture
We
and
couldn't
getting
sell
a
the
couple
furniture.
$100.
We still owed money on the furniture. It was my mother's furniture
We didn't
that
owe
they
any
gave us.
money
We
on the
had to pay
furniture.
them
You
the
said
furniture.
your mother gave. Do you
we
understand
had to
what
we had to
gift
willingly
is?
we had they
Gave
gave us
it
the
to
furniture
us.
in the understanding that within the next year we would pay them $350.
You don't give
I
me
never
all
even
the
heard of
facts.
this.
You say gave. Gave to me means I don't owe anything. I don't have to pay anything. It's mine. It's free. That's what a gift is.
I mean, it was just a way of them getting, they still had to pay a little bit on here and there, but again, they gave it to us with the understanding that we had a year. They didn't say, here, we want all this money up front. They didn't say, pay us $10. They said, when you get the money,
I don't know what he's
give us
talking
the
about.
money for this.
What piece of property do you want?
All I
comic
want
books.
is those, because when I was a kid,
What's those?
comic
These
books.
comic books.
I've collected comic books since I was a children. That's mine. Everything else can be hers. She promised me those.
He
That's the
wanted
one
more. If
promise
I
she
would've
made to
known.
me.
Stop. Let me hear what he wants.
That's the one promise she made to me all through this thing is I promise I'll give you your comic book. I can't do it this time. I don't have a way to storage. I don't have a way to storage. I don't have a
Okay,
right.
so you want your comic books.
So I just wanted to be fair. I give her everything else. That's all I want.
You all are standing up here fighting over the comic books and the furniture that's in storage, and you have two children out there that's hurting, and all they want is a mommy and a daddy with a decent house and somebody showing them love consistently
And I
every day.
show them every bit of
and
that
your
love.
argument to me is, I want the comic books.
I want my children to, in order to pay for this, I have to get a job. I have to pay my father back. He's missing this money and he needs it badly.
You've been out of a job for 8 months.
Yes, I have. It's
And
been
when did you start looking for one?
I've been looking for one all, it's been summer and the jobs have all been taken so far.
She's got
You
a
have a
background
lot
in
of
retail
excuses.
management.
I have
Ms. Watkins.
applied for quite a few jobs. I have applied. I just haven't gotten them.
You have a lot of excuses. How much are these comic books worth, Mr. Watkins?
I haven't seen them in almost a year. They used to probably have a value of no more than $200, just a couple $100.
$200?
That's if they were sold for
$200
full
would be
value. You can't sell
closer to
comic books for
getting
that
out of
full
this.
value. You'll get 40% from. They might be worth a total of $90. All of mine.
How much do you think the comic books are worth, Mrs. Watkins?
I don't know, probably about the same amount, and I figured that would take care of part of his
And the bill is $1,000.
it's $934.60.
I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back with my decision.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict and an update on the case of Robin Porter versus Wilson Porter.
His daughter wants nothing to do with him. His daughter is 7 years old and hates the ground that he walks on.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back in the case of Shanna Watkins, who says she's divorcing her husband Jeff because he won't stop flirting with other women.
Back on the matter of Jeff Watkins and Shanna Watkins. This is a marriage that began wrong from the beginning, that began wrong. Two of you were children. You had a child. You thought that that would help you become adults or escape your parents. Escaping your parents simply made you parents. One of you accepted the role. You, Mrs. Watkins, haven't yet quite accepted that role. No matter how much you say that you have and how much you protest to me and swear to me that you have, your conduct has shown me that you have not yet accepted that role as a parent. Parent makes sacrifices for children, and parents put children first. You have become comfortable at your home with your mother because it puts you back into a child role, and you don't have to accept being a parent. And it's not always easy to do that, especially when you start out at 16 or 17, and I understand that. But you have two children now, your responsibility, Mr. Watkins' responsibility. I understand that you're suffering from the low self-esteem, but you know those two little kids don't quite understand that. All they know is, I don't have a mommy around. And you should have put forth every piece of energy that you had to get a job and to do whatever you needed to do so you can have your children with you. The comic books just become another tool for you to argue with Mr. Watkins. That's all it is. You don't want those comic books. $200, you should have gotten that $200 long time ago if you were interested in getting the $200 before you came to me. Mr. Watkins, you're not a saint. Although you've cleaned up your act and you've accepted responsibility for your children, I applaud you for that. But you also have some responsibility for where Ms. Watkins is. It wasn't enough for you to just get a place for the two of you, but you've tried, and you've grown up and you've accepted your responsibility for your children, and that is wonderful. Thank God for that, because no telling where they would be if both of you were acting irresponsibly. But you too could have assisted a little more in keeping that relationship together, because I don't buy your explanation of the $430 rent that caused you to be evicted. You were spending money, you were making the money, and you wouldn't pay that rent for $430 that 1 month. You can shake your head all you want, but I don't buy it. I can add with you too. But by the same token, you're taking care of the children, you're providing for them, you're not receiving support from Mrs. Watkins, you have a home and you have responsibility for them, you're paying for child care. I'm not going to make you pay that storage bill. Why should he? My order is this. You can take that furniture, Mrs. Watkins, sell it, do whatever you can with it, get whatever you can for it. Hopefully, when you get it, you'll find you a place so you can see these children on a regular basis. Give those comic books to Mr. Watkins. That's my order. It is so ordered. Court's adjourned.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Robin Porter versus Wilson Porter.
I don't want nothing to do with him. If that was the case, I wouldn't have left him. He's a deadbeat father and a deadbeat husband.
Stop fake crying over there, because you over there lying.
He always put me down, wanted to keep me barefoot and pregnant.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Robin Porter said she was tired of her husband Wilson's excuses of why he can't provide for his children.
I don't want nothing to do with him. If that was the case, I wouldn't have left him. He's a deadbeat father and a deadbeat husband.
Stop fake crying over there, because you over there lying.
He always put me down, wanted to keep me barefoot and pregnant.
These are 3 children that you laid up, had sex, enjoyed every minute of it, conceived, and now you're going to tell me I got to go way over there to see them?
His daughter wants nothing to do with him. His daughter is 7 years old and hates the ground that he walks on.
Robin provided the judge with receipts for child care that she has paid for the past year, and the judge ordered Wilson to pay half. The judge also ordered that Wilson pay half of any future child care expenses. Wilson says he wants to show Robin that he can be a good father to his kids and has been spending more time with them. Robin says she has been working hard but has found the time to meet a new man who makes her very happy.
I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's what I wanted from the beginning, and it makes me happy.
She says that she didn't think I cared for my children, which she obviously didn't see the whole picture, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
I mean, I've been trying to take care of the kids, and I am trying to improve on who I am, and I've been trying to be the best father I can be.